Okay. All right, so we can just get started in, right, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then. Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody had a safe Memorial Day weekend holiday. I would like to call then the Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. It is now 4:33. The meeting will begin. Can we get a roll call on tonight's commissioners?
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Here.
Espricky,
Here.
Myricks,
Here.
Hopperidge.
Here, for the record, all 5 are present. Commissioners are present. All right, number 2 is declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 3, communications.
None were received.
Okay. Brings us to number 4, our homebound conditional loan approval. Looks like we have 1 applicant.
Yes, Miss Maligan is on.
Hello, Miss Maligan. How are you? Hello.
I think she's still muted. I see her name.
Miss,
Hello.
I see her name, but I can't hear. Miss Maligan, how did you hear about our program?
She did inform me that she
Hello?
heard. Oh, there she is. Go ahead.
Hello. Hello,
I
Miss
heard it from my lender.
lender.
My lender. Hello?
May I ask who's your lender?
Yes, I'm right here. Yes.
Okay.
Sharon.
What's the name of the company?
Oh, I forgot what was the company's name. I'm sorry. The only thing I know is her name is Sharon.
Are you a first-time home buyer?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for this applicant?
I believe you've covered it.
Well, if there's no questions, Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval of the homebound conditional loan approval for Laura Mulligan, 1341 Truman Street.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's the homebound conditional loan approval for Laura Maligan at 1341 Truman Street. Can we get a roll call, please?
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Espricky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Congratulations.
And welcome to Hammond.
If you want to sign off the meeting, you can, Laura.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Laura, if you want to sign off the meeting, you can. If not, then please stay on if you like. Thank you and congratulations. All right, number 5 is subordination request approval. Looks like there's 1 applicant here.
Yes, Miss Caquincia Smith. I see she's not logged on. She did tell me she would be on the meeting, but she is refinancing for a lower rate, and also she's going from a 30-year to a 15-year.
Upon review, it seems to me that it fulfills all our subordination guidelines.
I can.
Okay, I kind of heard what you said. Why did you make a motion or did you break up after that?
I don't. Yeah, I got some bad audio here somewhere. Mr. President, I move for the approval of subordination request for. I'm sorry, I can't. somebody help me out.
Kokencia. Her name is Kokencia.
for Coquincia on Carroll Street.
You forgot her last name, Smith.
I don't have the correct glasses.
Second.
Okay, there is a motion and a second. That's for Concencia Smith for the subordination request approval for 904 Carroll Street. Is there any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll call then.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Pyrex,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. If you speak to her, then you know what to say. Just tell her she was approved.
Yes, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. All right, number 6 is approval of settlement agreement between the Hammond Redevelopment Commission and State Line Investments, Inc. for 120 Sibley Street.
Mr. President,
Yes, go ahead. Good evening, Attorney Westland.
so you should have in your packet the settlement agreement. This is a piece of property in downtown Hammond that we were looking to acquire for purposes of additional parking consistent with the downtown plan. We weren't able to reach an agreement with the landowner prior to filing the condemnation lawsuit. We filed the condemnation lawsuit and it started down that path, but the appraisal for the landowner was significantly more. And through first a mediation and negotiation, we were able to arrive at the $250,000 figure.
So simply, it's a piece of property we wanted. We paid the appraised value.
We are paying sort of the midpoint between the court-appointed appraisers, I would say our appraisers, and what the landowner's appraisal was.
It's property we wanted to acquire. It's not, I mean, I guess then we did what we wanted to achieve what we wanted to do. Anybody, any questions?
All we need is a motion, right?
Correct.
Okay, I make a motion for approval of the settlement agreement between the Hammond Redevelopment Commission and State Line Investments, Inc. for 120 Sibley Street.
Second.
Okay, there is a motion and a second. Is there any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Pyrex,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 7, authorization to advertise a request for proposals for 6524-6540 Calumet Avenue.
Members of the commission, the property located at 6524 to 6550 Calumet Avenue is currently owned by the Hammond Redevelopment Commission. As you may remember, this property was previously advertised to receive requests for proposals, and we did receive some. Unfortunately, we did not move forward with the applicants that submitted. So there's increased interest on this property. So we wanted to receive authorization to advertise for proposals so that we can see if we have some additional, so we can basically see what proposals what is being proposed for that property. So at this time, I'm asking you for authorization to advertise for 6524 to 6540 Calumet Avenue.
So moved.
Is that where the currency exchange was gonna rebuild?
Yes, that's exactly where that's at, sir. The
that
site of the
still-
former Bowl era and a couple of additional parcels.
Is that still in effect, the currency exchange?
Well, they were one of the people that bidded on the property. And so we didn't move forward with them. So they would have to, if they were interested, they would have to rebid for the property.
I believe Mr. Myricks made a motion. I'll second that motion. I just had those questions.
Okay, very good. Then we have a motion and a second. That's for the authorization to advertise a request for proposals for property at 6524-6540 Calumet Avenue. Let's have a roll call, please.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Hasbricki,
Yes,
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 8's our reports. Ms. Tara, would you like to share anything tonight?
No, nothing at this time.
Okay. Anybody else want to share any reports? Okay. Number 9 then is authorization to enter into intergovernmental agreement with the Hammond Sanitary District to assist Hammond residents with utility payments.
Commissioners, last year during the hardest part of the pandemic, it hit us hard, real hard. There was a number of loss of jobs due to businesses having to close. So that means there was a loss of income, which in turn was a ripple effect dealing with home ownership and housing, people becoming behind in their mortgage, behind in their utility bills. So what the federal government did, the federal government put different relief packages and stimulus packages together in order to assist those in need. In phase 2 of the COVID funding, the city of Hammond received $408,000. Those funds are for rental assistance as well as utility assistance. I've been in contact with the sanitary district CEO, Mr. Marty Wilgus, as well as the director of the water department. And we've come up with a program that you have in your packets that will address the needs for the utility assistance. And those cover the sanitary, the sewer, and the water bill. And those are for not only renters, but for homeowners that are in need, as long as they meet the income guidelines. So at this time, I would ask that you authorize staff to enter into an agreement with the sanitary district who will be running the program in order to meet the needs, the utility needs of low-income individuals here in our city. The maximum amount that an individual can receive, they can receive up to $500 in assistance.
I understand the need for assistance, but I don't understand why the redevelopment commission is involved.
The funds that come through the city are the federal funds, community development block grants. Those are the funds that you approve almost every time you have a meeting. You are ultimately the governing body over these funds.
So this money could be allocated, obviously it would be earmarked for this.
Right.
And that's the only use for these funds, whatever that number was, 400,000, or is there other uses for the citizens?
The program is for, the total was 400,000. However, this program, we've set aside $200,000 for it. The other part will go for rental assistance.
I think it's probably a very good idea, given that the utilities have gone up, given that the water bill went up. Does this, you said that this covers the sanitary and the sewer?
Yeah, because there's three things that we pay for when we get our water bill.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this program will cover.
Yeah, it probably comes at a very good time, because although our water bills were not horribly high, even with the increase that was done in the last year, it's still a very big burden for people that are being laid off and that have lost their jobs and da. I think this is a good program for our residents. I'd like to make a motion to accept it.
Is there a second? I can't hear, but if there wasn't a second, I'll second.
No, there was not, but thank you, Commissioner. That's Ricky.
Yes, no, I made a motion to accept this authorization to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Hammond Sanitary District to assist the Hammond residents with utility payments.
And I believe I seconded. Again,
Yes, you did.
I got a lot of background noise on my computer, so.
This is
Yeah, we
pretty
got it.
too.
Okay, there is a motion now and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion or any questions for Ms. Awana Miller?
I have a question. I was wondering, will any of these funds be used to help our residents with their utility bills as well?
That is true too.
The only, we're working with NIPSCO right now to see how we can partner with them, but this only covers the water bill.
Well, some help is better than none at all. And we have to start at the beginning.
Okay, that is correct. There's still a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Comich,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes,
Casperkey,
Yes,
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Thank you, Ms. Miller.
Thank you very much.
All right, number 10 is a public hearing for the annual caper. So public hearing will be open for the annual caper. Public hearing is open for annual caper. Public hearing is open for the annual caper. Okay, public hearing of the annual caper is closed. Public hearing of the annual caper is closed. Hearing of the annual caper is closed. All right, number 11 is approval of a general release. Attorney Westland, number 11, did you want to just have any comments or discussion on this approval of general release?
I apologize. I don't have in the agenda that I brought with me. I'm out of town. I don't have a number 11. So Africa, can you tell me which release this is?
Yes, this is the release for 5251 Holman with Evanston Insurance Company.
Got it. Okay, so this release, we purchased 5251 Holman Avenue, along with the liquor license at that building for $90,000. We had it insured for $120,000. Plus we had an additional $20,000 for construction because we thought we were going to do construction. We received the original $120,000 for the structure immediately when the fire loss happened. And we were arguing about the additional $20,000 construction coverage that we had. The insurance carrier took the position that because we hadn't started construction that we were entitled to nothing. But we made the argument that the previous owner had started construction and that the value was somewhere in the neighborhood of the $20,000. Because of that, we were able to resolve this claim for the additional, and I don't remember, was it 12.5 Africa?
One moment, I'll look and see.
Or was it 10?
I thought it was 12, but let me check and see. I think it was 12.5. Let me verify. Oh, it was 10.
I saw
Okay.
10,000.
It's 10.
So
We're the releaser, and they're the
Yeah.
release. I
So we
see
made a
10,000.
claim. And in actuality, by holding the property for as long as we did before the fire loss, we received more in insurance proceeds because the property was worth more than what we bought it for.
Okay, that makes sense.
So what are we releasing?
Any additional claim against the insurance carrier?
So the chapter, with this, the chapter on this will be closed.
That's correct.
Then I so move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's the approval of the general release. If there's no further questions or discussion. Okay, let's have a roll call.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley, Soto Presley,
She's muted. Unmute yourself, Miriam.
Miriam, if you hold down the space bar, it will unmute you temporarily. Maybe not.
Yes.
Casperkey,
Yes.
Rix,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Did you get Dawn Talmadge?
I did. She was the first one.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, I saw Marion finally got on. All right, so motion passes with 5 yes. That's the approval of general release. Thank you, Attorney Westland. All right, number 12 is our bills, registered claims.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the register of claims, May 3rd, 2021 through May 27th, 2021. Redevelopment Commission meeting of June 1st, 2021. Claims dated 5/31/21, ending with claims dated 5/27/21. Claims number R95878 through R59997 inclusive.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second for our register of claims dating May 3rd, 2021 through May 27th, 2021. That's claims R59878 through claim R59997. Is there any questions or discussion for staff on these claims? Okay, then roll call on the claims.
Comich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes. Hello.
got you. Casperky,
yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge,
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. All right, number 13 is new and unfinished business.
Members of the commission, you were sent an amendment to amendment number one to the August 18th, 2020 supplemental letter agreement from SEH of Indiana. In that agreement, it outlines the request for an additional $25,000 through June 30th, 2021. The initial agreement that you approved was for, I believe, from 87.5. However, due to the nature of some projects that we've worked on, we have been using SEH quite a bit. And I'm actually meeting with the company tomorrow that I will be utilizing the services of Mr. Bowditch, who is on the call, who serves as the senior economic development professional. So what is before you today is a summary of the expenses that you can see, the projects that they worked on, and a request for an additional $25,000 just to go through the end of June 2021 to extend their contract based on some of the things that they're working on now, that they know that they're going to go over the initial contract amount. And we do have Dan Bowditch on the call if you have any questions for him, or if you have any questions for me regarding this amendment.
Can we get an overview of this new and improved change order, what we're doing?
Yes, I will turn it over to Dan Bowditch at this time because he did such a good job of the summary.
Oh, thank you very much, commissioners and Mr. President. Last year, this is not unusual for us to come before the commission. And last year and in prior years, we had done this in the past, either in the months of July or August. And last year in August, when this was and a similar amendment was approved, because our not to exceed amount is a best case guesstimate of the amount of services provided to the city of Hammond and Redevelopment Commission for Economic Development Services. So last year, Commissioner Kaspericki asked that we keep a closer monitoring of our fees. And this year it was determined that our fees would basically run out as of about the end of April, May 1st. So this was submitted to our overview of all our time for the year was submitted to the Redevelopment Commission and Ms. Tarver in order to understand where our services were generally provided. Now, an overview is that I went through the time and coded it so that so that the commissioners understand where time was placed and where the fees were associated. So I broke it down into 4 parts: general consulting for budgeting, tax increment financing, general consulting, and ERA gap reporting, which is required for budgeting process and for accounting purpose reporting. That totaled about $15,500, typically within our normal agreement. ED analysis was coded as a number 2 in all the time. And that included economic development analyses for specific prospects before the city. And you can see at 2.8 code is project HMI, which is the newest one that Miss Africa did allude to now. There's no time billed to it, but eventually there will be time billed to it after from last week. So you can see there were 8 specific projects that we worked on for the city. The major one is ATG Rimbach and Ben Calumet in the downtown allocation area. Those totaled about $28,300 or $400. Now, specific allocation consulting, there were 6 areas that we did consult specifically under state line allocation area: Home Depot, Florida, Parish Avenue, sub-allocation areas, the downtown under JCP number 3 project, Gateways, Cabela's, and the newest Sibley Boulevard allocation area. That was for not only follow-up and amendments to the state line allocation area, but working specifically on budget and pro formas for the downtown allocation area as it related to the ATG, Rimbach, and Ben Calumet projects. You can see there that a good portion of it, 32,000, or about a third of it, of our 87,000 in services, was set aside for allocation areas. Now, really, the last code 4 is under special project consulting. These are projects that we really can't foresee or know in advance, except for putting aside some funds in our not to exceed amount for these projects. And that included the potash agrium appeal that is still currently underway, and working with the city and the commission on that. Oxbow Landing, ERA EDTA number 2, setting that up and getting that established for financial incentivization of the, I believe one of the final or the second to last parcels in the Oxbow Landing area. Assisting with the RDA and Transit Development District Westlake Corridor project, as well as ULA downtown workshops and forum, and ERA monitoring and reporting. That came to about 23,000. Our total through May 22nd was about $99,000 in fees, and that would have cause for an amendment of $11,617. However, there's still that time from May 23rd through the end of the year that potentially could get billed if we are brought on projects. And I estimated that to be about $13,300. I don't know if it'll hit that much because we still have the full month of June left, but it's an estimate of where we are. We only bill for the time that we record to a project for the commissioner's purposes. I don't believe we get to the full 112,000 if this is approved, but just in case some project comes along that I cannot foresee, I'd rather not have to come back to you for a second amendment at this time. But we also would have another agreement that would start July 1st of 2021 if our services are continued for the next year. But this is similar to past year's practices that when we reach our goal, I do notify Africa Tarver when we're within about 10%, and then we get this before the commission. So that's really the change order, Commissioner Kazbergi. It's a function of the services that are requested of SCH to assist in the economic development, finance, work and tasks that the city has requested of SCH.
Yeah, I don't question for a minute that work's being done and services being rendered. I question that we approve an amount not to exceed, and now we're exceeding it with another 20+%. That's where my issues lie.
So I'll address that, Commissioner, and thank you for that question. The challenging part with economic development is sometimes we're interested in going one way. We find out we cannot for whatever reason. We work with SEH and we also work with another company as far as with the financials of it. Sometimes we run into some challenges. Sometimes we'll work on a project and it goes, I don't want to say goes dead, but it phases out for a moment, then we have to find another way. So a lot of times, I guess the easiest answer is a lot of things with economic development are not as cut and dry as sometimes we would like them to be. With working on some projects, we find out that another project may come up or something may happen and various things may change so that we may have a project that's brought before us and we want to see how much, potentially we have someone that is requesting some type of incentive. So we definitely want the numbers to be ran on that and not just to see how the numbers will currently affect us, but how that will affect future allocations as going forward. So a lot of it is not just looking at, can we give someone money, but how would them giving, is it the right amount for the scope of the project? And then how will this affect us for future years?
And to further answer that question is, Councilman Kesbricki, I could potentially submit, and I could go back and look at the last 5 years to see what the average of the services were that were provided to in totality during a agreement year, and submit an agreement based on that. And just from my not looking at the information, it would probably be between $110,000 to $115,000, which is about where we're at now. But I do believe last year we did provide services in excess of $120,000 to about $125,000. So it ranges every year, and it's our goal with the city to stay within about an $80,000 to $90,000 range if we can. But I can't guarantee that based upon what's asked of our services.
Again, I don't question your services for 1 minute. That's not my point. It's that we're entering an agreement at one point, and as all of my fellow commissioners know, I have a issue with change orders. It's just,
And Commissioner, we definitely appreciate you asking the questions. We definitely we appreciate that. But then also too, I wanted to bring up, we also are doing the downtown plan. So we're doing something new that we haven't done before. So sometimes when we do things like that, we do have unforeseen expenses just based on the scope of the project. So I definitely appreciate your diligence and that extra set of eyes to look before it. But what I will say is that Mr. Bowditch, as well as SEH, has been very good about being fiscally responsible. And he will contact me when it appears that it's going over. There are even times when we're discussing different matters and he will propose different cost saving methods. Just so, and we definitely appreciate that. So I will definitely say I understand and I appreciate the fact that you're questioning this, and I definitely appreciate it, as you should as a commissioner. I would just like to say at this time that Dan Bowditch and his SEH has been very fiscally responsible, and I would definitely ask that the commission really consider the extension of this for this person, just because we are working with them on some existing projects now.
and please, for a minute, don't think that I think anyone, or the staff and Mr. Bowditch is not being responsible. It's just, again, we end up paying for the changes, and I have to question it.
I understand.
That's all I have.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bowditch. The documents that you prepared, especially on Exhibit B, I guess that would be B, page 1, has a really good breakdown. So if I don't know if anybody else has any further questions. All right, then. I guess
I just need to know how to word this to make this motion. Tony? I just need
Yeah.
to know how to word it. I'm gonna make the motion, but I just want to make sure I word it correctly.
Okay, well, I think you could just, for SEH, the amended change in the amount. You can do it that way. If not, then
Okay.
if you want Dan Bowditch or Attorney Wesley to say it, then you can so move on it.
Yeah, let's have one of them say it, so I'll just say so move, because I want to make sure we do it correctly.
Commissioner Myricks, I would ask that you entertain a motion to increase the agreement, the original amount of the agreement with SCH that was dated. Let me get the date on here. That was dated May 28th. I'm sorry, that was dated
August 18th, 2020.
August 18th, 2020, for a professional fee amount of $87,500 to a not to exceed amount of $112,500, an increase of $25,000 in not to exceed fees, with no change to the expense amount from $500.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bowditch.
You're welcome.
We have a motion then by Commissioner Myricks and a second by Commissioner Tomich. And we have a roll call then, please.
Tomich,
Yes.
Toto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
Thank you very much, commissioners. I appreciate it. And on behalf of SCH, we look forward to working with you. And I will put together a 5-year history of our services over the past 5 years. And we'll put together an agreement for the subsequent year that is more in line, so that the percent chance of a change, not so much a change order, it's an amendment to the not to exceed amount. Because a change order is really more, there was an error in the design or the construction change based on topography of a particular project. But we'll try to keep that more in line with what we have. I appreciate all the work that Africa does, as well as the city, and we enjoy working with the city.
Yes, I agree, Dan. You're just doing your job. You know, when we ask you to provide a service for us, you need to be paid, and we get it. Sometimes projects come up, and so that's where the extra funds are needed.
Thank you much.
All right, is there any other new and unfinished business?
No, not at this time, commissioners.
Okay. Then we'll move along to number 14. Public comment is open. Public comment is open. If anybody would like to speak that is tuned in or zoomed in, you have 3 minutes. It is open now. Okay, public comment is closed. Number 15 then.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by
Aye.
ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.